What do you think?
I think we're dead meat. Real dead meat.
You're dead meat! Go ahead and laugh, you guys. If I ever find a little bastards that did this, they're dead meat.
Welcome to the Dead Meat Podcast, an extension of the YouTube channel Dead Meat. I'm James.
I'm Chelsea, and we're boyfriend and girlfriend, and we like to get scared together.
Yeah. Hey, Chelsea, do you have any clear eyes?
Clear eyes. I don't remember what the slogan is.
Something awesome. I hope you do, because we're talking about Red Eye
Yeah.
today. Yep.
I can't believe you came up with your own little intro for this, because I, too, had a stupid intro
Oh,
for this.
what was yours? Oh, no, I stepped on yours.
No. It's cool. I was going to say, so everyone has been watching You on Netflix, right? At least I've been watching it.
Okay, sure.
And it's been a thing where people, specifically teenage girls, I think, are really into the main character, even though he's objectively a terrible person.
Sure.
And he's a villain. So we're gonna flash back to 2005 when I was a stupid teenager and I saw the movie Red Eye in theaters, and I was so horny for Cillian Murphy in this.
Is the guy in You as Patrick Bateman-esque as Killian here?
I think honestly, when I first started watching that show, the first thing I thought was, oh, this is Patrick Bateman if he wanted his life to be a rom-com.
Oh, okay.
It's very Patrick Bateman for sure.
Yeah.
Patrick Bateman's hot too.
Yeah. Objectively. Yeah, but we're not talking about American Psycho. We're talking about Red Eye, which is a Wes Craven movie. Mm-hmm. Wes Craven directed this in 2005.
I saw this in theaters. I remember seeing the trailer for this in theaters and thinking, yes, this is where I want to be. Because the trailer was kind of a misleading, which I've always thought would be a great concept for a movie, is advertise something as a rom-com, but then halfway through it turns into a horror, but nothing in the ads say that. You just think it's going to be.
That'll get you a lot of angry patrons.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of angry letters.
Hi, that's actually my seat.
You're kidding. You're not kidding.
So what do you do?
As fate would have it, my business is all about you.
But the trailer for this it started as a rom-com, and then halfway through the trailer, you realize it's a thriller.
I mean, this, the first, 15, maybe even 20 minutes of this could be a rom-com?
Mm-hmm. A really boring one, but did you see this in theaters?
No, I didn't see it until 2010.
Wow,
I remember
okay.
because I watched it during my summer that I was interning out in LA, so I remember watching it then.
This was 15 years ago this came out, and I vividly remember going to the theaters. I remember who I was with. I remember planning to go see this with people because I was excited for the actors in it. Oh man, guys. It's weird.
Yeah, she's been freaking out.
Well, it's also one of the movies I've watched recently where it didn't look like I remembered it looking in my head. I think when you haven't seen a movie in a long time, you kind of adjust it in your head to look like maybe how movies look now. And you don't remember watching this that oh my God, of course there's a bunch of people with frosted tips in this because it's 2005 and everything looks already a little dated and it's weird. Do you want to just start going through it before I have a complete crisis?
Yeah, because
over my mortality.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to have to tend to you after we finish filming.
Oh, man. Yeah, but I guess, we both like this movie.
I really enjoyed it. It's a short little romp.
Yes, it's 86 minutes, I think.
Comes in under the
Beautiful.
90. It's Wes Craven, so, it's well done. It's got good characters. Mm-hmm. The leads are excellent.
Oh, they're great.
It's Rachel McAdams.
They have to carry the whole thing.
Yeah, and Cillian Murphy. Yeah, the movie is mostly focused on the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
A large part of it takes place on a plane, which is fun and I think works it's a strength of it, the claustrophobia. It's one of those movies where it's how will this person get out of this? And then it's fun to watch them try all these different ways because Rachel McAdams' character is very competent and smart, and I really liked her in this.
I like her in this too. This was the first movie I'd seen her in after Mean Girls, because this would have been right after Mean Girls came out.
That was 2003,
and I remember this really surprising me because I just knew her as Regina. And then I forget if The Notebook was before or after this, but I didn't see The
Notebook. It was right before.
I didn't see The Notebook
I've
till
never
I
seen
was
The
in.
Notebook.
I couldn't finish it. I turned it off.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, I don't care. I just shut it off. All right. So, yeah, in this movie, Rachel McAdams is a hotel manager.
Yeah. Is it often that a 27-year-old is a hotel manager?
I don't know.
That sounds young to me.
I am not familiar with that career path. Are there any hotel managers that
Yeah, holla at us.
listen to this? So she's on the phone with her dad, who is in the middle of remodeling a house.
Yes, and her dad is Brian Cox.
Brian Cox, yeah.
Who was the original Hannibal Lecter and Manhunter.
Yep.
Also maybe best known to the Dead Meat audience as Mr. Krieg from Trick or Treat.
Oh, yeah.
The curmudgeonly neighbor who has the climactic showdown with Sam.
That's right.
Yes.
So yeah, we got Brian Cox, and he has her childhood bedroom preserved because he just wants his daughter to come visit. There's like a cheerleading outfit and some field hockey stuff, and apparently, according to IMDb trivia, which is iffy, you know, because anyone can
just
post.
fucking type that in.
Apparently, the shot of her playing field hockey, there's like a photograph is just from Mean Girls, and I do remember there is field hockey in that.
Huh.
Rachel's reading a Dr. Phil book in line at the airport, as you do, because her dad gave it to her.
Yeah, it's like very prominently featured, like Dr. Phil right there.
Yeah. Did he pay to have this?
Probably not. I don't know how that works. I never
have
know how
no
that works.
idea how that
if they have to
works.
pay him, if he has to pay them,
Dude,
if
it's
they
a
get
whole
permission.
thing. Like, it's all clearances and shit. Like, when I worked in art departments, that was the most annoying part of it, is you want to just even use something innocuous in the background somewhere, but it has to pass through this whole system of people.
Yeah,
the
so his people
clearances
definitely
system.
knew.
Yes, they
Yeah.
knew, but
I mean, they use his name.
but who approached who, you know?
Yeah, right. But yeah, before that, we see her talking to her like assistant back at her hotel that she manages, and we
Yes,
just get the sense that Cynthia.
Jama Mays, who is on Glee, and she's in shit like Epic Movie, like those things.
She looks like a fawn in person form.
Yeah.
You know, she has like very wide eyes.
Mm-hmm.
But we get the sense that Rachel McAdams is a people pleaser. She tells her the receptionist lady that
Cynthia, there are no guests who are assholes, only guests with special needs.
False. But good for you, Rachel McAdams. That's very kind of you. And speaking of, there's a lady in line behind Rachel McAdams. Oh no, this isn't the mean person, but there is a lady behind her who is super hot for Dr. Phil. Like, she wants Dr. Phil so bad, and she notices that Rachel's reading this book. And
are we just gonna call her Rachel in this?
I'm calling them Rachel and Killian.
Okay, that's fair.
To keep it from being confusing.
I don't even remember her actual name in this.
Lisa.
Or character name. Lisa.
Lisa. And his name is Jack.
Oh yeah, Jack Ripner.
Yeah.
Ripner.
Yep. So Rachel's like, you know what? Here, take this book. I don't want it. I insist.
It no longer sparks joy for me.
It does not spark joy. That is such a great way to go about those kinds of gifts you get from people.
What?
You know, just acknowledge, like, this served its purpose for me, and I don't need it anymore.
If only there were a bunch of random airport women to just give them to and not have to deal with.
Yes, and then you don't feel bad. There's a guy in line also who starts being really shitty to an employee, and Rachel steps in and just puts on her hotel manager hat, and then Killian also steps in and helps save the day.
And Chelsea melts to the floor.
Just end the movie. And we're done. It's a perfect, really pointless rom-com. Just no plot. It's extreme. Like, there's nothing to it. But, you know, we could just end it there.
The lesson is be nice to employees.
They live happily ever after. I just wrote, he's so pretty. He has such nice cheekbones, and he is so scary.
Yeah, he clearly looks like a fucking psychopath.
He looks like such a fucking villain. It's amazing.
He looks like he's about to chloroform her.
I mean,
drag her away.
He
would
be such a weird casting for a straight up rom-com. I would love to see it. Maybe I can't think of any that he's been in. He's always playing character roles. Even if he is the leading man, he's still like.
Well, yeah, you can't have scenes with him kissing people, or else his cheekbones are just gonna cut him
their
all to
eyes out.
pieces. Yeah. Just cut their face to ribbons.
Oh man. So on the way to the terminal, a random lady runs right into Rachel McAdams. This is one of my favorite lines, which I don't even think we would have caught if we didn't have the captions on.
Oh, when the lady walks away.
Yeah, so this lady runs right into her and spills coffee all over her, and she apologizes and then walks away, and she's yelling to her, I think, husband off screen, like,
Larry, could you run back to Starbucks? I need another mocha. Is that one already?
well, someone's wearing it.
Yeah, he's like, what, you finished that one?
Killian's at the airport bar, and it's funny because at first I thought, oh, this kind of looks like LAX, but then every airport just kind of looks like this, right? Every airport's got that same Mexican restaurant.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's always very good.
Mm-hmm. So Rachel joins him, and he says that he has this talent where he can guess someone's preferred drink. And I forgot this whole plot line. So at first I was genuinely like, oh, how do you do that? Like, what is he going off of here? So he guesses that she drinks sea breezes, and she says, oh, close. I drink bay breezes. And by the way, I did look them up. I wanted to know what these drinks were. A sea breeze it's 4 ounces cranberry juice, 1 1/3 ounces of vodka, and 1 ounce of grapefruit juice. But a bay breeze it's the exact same thing, but instead of grapefruit, it's pineapple juice. So I think that sounds better. I think the Bay Breeze sounds better. And importantly, and I did not catch this, but when she sips the Bay Breeze, she doesn't like it. So she lied about her favorite drink, because her favorite drink, as we'll find out later, is a Sea Breeze.
That tastes okay?
That's fine.
You sure? Because we can always get you that sea breeze.
Just hints as to what's going on.
Mine's an old fashioned.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, my favorite, it's not a drink you can just order, though, because no one knows what the fuck it is, but I love Corpse Survivors, man.
Oh, yeah, you can't.
I love anything with absinthe in it. Absinthe is my favorite.
I mean, old fashioned you can't get unless it's like a halfway decent
hey,
bar.
man, I can't just order stuff with absinthe in it. That's such a random specialty thing. I just like that licorice taste. It's so good. They make small talk, and he reveals that his name is Jackson Ripner. He prefers Jackson, I think, because otherwise it's Jack Ripner.
But also that probably just isn't his real name.
It's probably not his real name.
Yeah.
Cool fake name.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Ballsy.
It's
Ballsy
really
fake name.
ballsy, yeah.
Oh, hi. My name is Murder McMurderface.
Yeah. My name is Son of Sam. Fuck. And again, just end scene. Just end the movie here. It's a really dumb rom-com. Maybe it's like a student film, you know, where like there's not really plot. It could feel a little new wave, you know, where it's just two people getting to know each other, and there's not a plot. Mm-hmm. Just end it here. Nope. We keep going. There is a brief shot of the deputy security.
Is it the deputy?
Yeah,
secretary?
I looked it up. It's the deputy secretary of Homeland Security.
They're targeting a deputy secretary?
I know, James, because then I was curious.
What?
I know. Hang on. I was curious, and I was wondering, well, do I know any other deputy secretaries of Homeland Security? Is this a big high-profile thing? And I clicked. No, it looks like normal-ass people. Like every person's picture on Wikipedia is just that like school picture style government photo.
Yeah.
They're not like famous politicians. They're just kind of working.
No, you never know any deputy secretaries unless the fucking secretary has to recuse themselves from something, and then you find out who Rod Rosenstein is.
That's, oh my God. You know what? Being alive through this time, it's a good like civics lesson.
Yeah. I didn't know what what
emoluments?
Is it? No, I didn't know emoluments before, and now
oh, and then the suborning.
I didn't know suborning until a couple days ago, last night.
Yeah, so that's a plus.
That's a plus. I pointed out that this deputy secretary of Homeland Security only formed in 2001.
Yep, and
brand new department.
I always forget that.
Yeah, because we'll never roll it back.
Oh no, that's never going away. The deputy secretary's name is Charles Keefe.
Mm-hmm. And he gives this weird thing
so weird
where he's like, something about like, I'm not saying we'll attack them. They just need to know that we're looking at him.
And he looks into the camera.
Yeah, he like spikes the camera. And because of that, and because he's in Homeland Security, I was primed to think like he was
He's
a bad guy.
Same.
You know?
This is such a weird, like watching it now, we look at these kinds of characters and instantly think this guy's a bad guy because he's part of the military industrial complex. So back then, I think we're still in that weird, I mean, we're in the Iraq War. Like that's, you know, because that was 2003. And then, so I feel like we're still in that weird space though, where we're a bit like.
Yeah, but it's weird because it's Wes Craven. I don't think he's going to be like,
no,
you know.
He didn't write it.
That's true.
He just directed it.
Still, I think it's a very neutral approach to this character who I think nowadays would more likely be probably like a more antagonistic character.
And not like straight up antagonist, but you meet him and you think he's a dick. You know, like he's maybe characterized as kind of a...
Yeah, but this dude ends up being like a family man.
This guy ends up being like the nicest dude.
Yeah.
With 2 beautiful children, like 2.5 kids kind of
yeah.
thing. We get a bunch of vignettes, which are my favorite, of people at the terminal, including my favorite guy.
What?
Yeah, he like sits down and so it's like, what?
And then we've got people all like laying on each other's shoulders.
There's a cowboy in the background.
Of course.
It's very Final Destination.
Yes, it's like, here's all the shots of people that are going to die on this plane is so what it felt like, including 2 teenagers, one of whom looks like Devon Sawa.
Yeah.
Other one's got like the big headphones and just frosted tips everywhere.
They look like those characters in like his buddies in Final Destination.
Yeah.
Like the brothers.
There's a little kid flying alone. Again, just we're gonna go through all the. It even feels like Airplane because on that there's the. It's a little bit different, but it's the sick girl who is in the back and she's on like the IV. There's a very deliberate shot of Cillian Murphy winding up his watch when they're seated, so you know something is weird.
Well, also, you know something's weird because it's Cillian Murphy.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And look at his fucking face.
He could just be asking for pretzels instead of peanuts. And you're like, what the fuck's that guy doing?
He never asks for pretzels at home.
Cool reference for all of the millennials out there.
Not even.
I know, I was being sarcastic.
Oh, okay.
That's like straight up baby boomer shit, James. They reference that in Airplane.
Wait, that's a reference in Airplane? I was referencing Airplane.
Oh, no, it's a commercial.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought I was making an Airplane reference.
No, there's another level to that.
Jesus.
Yeah. It's a coffee commercial.
Oh.
Rachel says that she's nervous flying. I'm a nervous flyer too. I'm a lot better now that we've flown a lot, but I get it. I don't like it. So he's kind of talking to her and it seems like he's trying to make her feel more comfortable. And then they take off and they're hitting some turbulence and he starts getting a little too specific with his questions. Just, let's talk about your dad. What's your dad like? Like that Tim and Eric bit is basically him where it's that guy singing like, now tell me about your dad.
Is that the Who Brought Over the Meat?
Yeah, I want to meet that dad.
Oh, yeah.
That's Cillian Murphy right now. It's just that bit. And so he's asking what her job is, and he says, oh, well, it's my job to ask you questions like this, and I want to keep the focus on you and your dad. And it's such, Rachel McAdams does such a great line delivery where she's like,
Okay, well, that's kind of weird.
It's a great moment because, like, yeah, it's getting progressively weirder and creepier. He's saying, well, that's my job, and my job is to topple governments and assassinate people. And he's been joking, I put in air quotes, this whole time, but now they're getting a little more specific and weirder, and she's trying to laugh it off.
Yeah.
And it's this great performance of someone in that awkward position of like, okay, I thought this guy was okay, but now he's a little
really weird,
and I'm just gonna be stuck next to him on this plane. They
do a good job setting that up earlier when he talks about how he was named Jack Ripner, and Rachel says something like, "Oh man, I'd be so mad at your parents," and he says, "Yeah, I told them that before I killed them."
Yeah.
So we set up that he is a guy, we think, with just a really morbid sense of humor, and presumably that's what she thinks too. But now it's like, all right. Now it's weird.
Yeah, and it's a great, just very realistic unraveling of that situation where it's like, how much danger am I in right now? Because I thought he was just kind of quirky, and now he's maybe more than that.
Yeah, they're definitely. I'm curious. I was looking at who they wanted to cast for this, just the list of potentials, and I wish I wrote it down, but it's a thing where I bet there was a debate between casting someone like Cillian Murphy, where he just plays evil, you know, and maybe some other actor who maybe in other stuff he's been a good guy and you trust him, but then there's this switch to where he's a total creep. And I wonder, that had to have been a debate. It reminds me of the debate between the versions of The Shining, where Jack Nicholson, he's kind of weird, you know.
Yeah, Jack Nicholson's
just
already insane.
crazy. And then the other one with Steven Weber, who has
Directed by Mick Garris.
Dude, Mick Garris and Steven Weber, very nice people. I worked on Murder in the First with Steven Weber.
And I interviewed Mick Garris.
And I just, that set must have been the opposite of the Kubrick one. I'm curious though if there was that kind of struggle with what actors to cast. They originally too, I remember this, they wanted to have older actors. I think they were, and I'm glad they didn't do this, but they were going to have Sean Penn and Robin Wright. I'm guessing then she was Robin Wright Penn. So that would have been weird.
Yeah. I prefer this, even if Rachel McAdams seems young for her job. That's fine.
Whatever, I don't
She's
care.
great in it, and yeah.
Yep. So, all right, so here's the deal. Keith, that like, I keep almost saying Queef, James.
Oh no.
Or
honey.
O'Keefe, like the painter.
Yeah, the vagina painter.
The vagina painter. So it's just all.
There's a lot of vaginas.
It's all very
on your mind. No, this is the Homeland Security dude.
Yeah, the Homeland Security guy. All right,
the
so
deputy secretary.
Deputy secretary. I guess every year, once a year, he stays at Rachel McAdams' hotel.
Like, go after the Secretary of Transportation at that point. That's gonna have the same fucking impact as a deputy secretary.
But Homeland Security right now is topical.
Yeah, but deputy.
I don't know, man.
Like, go after Rumsfeld, not whoever Rumsfeld deputy secretary is, whose name I don't know because he was his deputy secretary.
Keith stays at this hotel once a year, every year, specifically in this one room. He always requests it. And Cillian Murphy and his team, we don't really know who his team is. It's kind of a weird mystery. They know that he is heading to this hotel. And so Cillian tells Rachel, you need to call the hotel and tell them to switch him from the room he's currently in to this other room that we have picked out.
Yeah, and the room that he is supposed to be in is like his regular room.
Yeah.
That's like secure.
He's always in that room. Yeah. And if she does not do this, her dad will die. And she says, prove it. To which he pulls out her dad's wallet and is able to describe her senior picture and all kinds of stuff. So she knows that they've been in her dad's house and that her dad actually is in trouble.
Oh, and yeah, it would be a fake name because he must have chosen Jack Ripper because it has the same initials as her dad, because the wallet has her dad's initials on it. And he's like, if you try to tell the flight attendants, I'll just say you're crazy and it's my wallet. He's banking a lot on people not trusting her over him, but I guess that's why I got her drunk.
It's a movie where, admittedly, you have to. There were a few times where I had to shut my brain off a little bit to accept the premise of this. I think a major thing is people should be able to hear them. That
is the one thing that you absolutely have to just ignore.
Just leave it.
Because this whole time he's talking to her and threatening her and everything, and it's shot in close up so you don't see everyone around them. But realistically,
if you're on a plane,
they're on a fucking plane.
You can hear, it's still loud on a plane, but you can hear that conversation going on. You would know something is weird. You would notice him headbutt her like he does later, which is a great.
He does it discreetly as you can headbutt someone unconscious, but he does, certainly headbutt her.
You tell the flight attendant and your dad dies.
Oh, here I have written that. I think his American accent's really good.
Yes, because is he Irish?
I think
he's Irish. Cillian, he's Irish, but Brian Cox is Scottish, I believe, and he is fighting his accent.
They've made some headway in the last few days. I lost my wallet, but that's par for the course.
Rumsfeld was Department of Defense. I don't remember Bush's Homeland Security secretaries, Tom Ridge and Michael Chertoff. I don't remember those people. I do know Napolitano.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then Kristen Nielsen.
Oh,
Kristen
great.
Nielsen.
Great. Just a rogues gallery of just absolute winners.
Well, before Nielsen was John Kelly.
Oh. Oh, boy. I want to go see Vice.
Oh, yeah. Vice.
So her dad, he insists that her dad is fine. It's just they have a guy parked outside with apparently some sharpened rebar. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
This is how you know
so weird
this
that,
is
like,
not like this doesn't feel like official government, like maybe like another country sending, this feels very independent mercenary,
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely terrorists of some sort.
Yeah.
But the dudes we see later seem Eastern European. They're vaguely like, they seem white, but they're speaking a different a foreign language.
Apparently that's a bunch of crew members from the movie.
Really?
Yeah, which I love. So her dad is fine and at home, and Killian says this too. He's at home in his lazy boy watching the comedy marathon.
Yeah, and Brian Cox had mentioned that earlier. He was like, "Well, I'm just gonna wait for you to
stay
get
up
here
and watch the
stay up and
comedy
watch
marathon."
the comedy marathon." What the
fuck is the
is
comedy?
the comedy marathon?
It's so generic. It's this mystery. So Rachel calls with the airplane phone, which, wow, we don't have those anymore.
Oh yeah, and every seat has one,
Yeah.
just in the back of the chair in front of you.
Yeah.
Like in front, instead of the screen that we have nowadays, it's a fucking phone.
It's a phone, yeah.
with a little credit card swiper.
Yeah.
Were those that common? I didn't fly too much
I
around
didn't
this
either.
time of my life.
We drove
2005.
everywhere, and I didn't travel overseas at all. So I had no reason to fly around then, so I don't know if those are a thing. So yeah, she calls and he is indeed watching the comedy marathon. Generic.
What would play in this?
I know. I was trying
comedy
to think.
marathon, like The Apartment?
Odd Couple. What?
The Apartment, like the Jack Lemmon.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why, I was thinking The Odd Couple.
It's just a Jack Lemmon marathon.
I was going to
That's the
say,
comedy
just Jack
marathon.
Lemmon stuff. I did write down one of the lines that comes off the TV. Like, it was in the caption, so I don't know if we would have heard it otherwise. So this is a quote. And I went and Googled this quote because I wanted to know what he was watching and nothing came up. So I think this is just a weird generic show that they invented. Well, gang, brace yourselves. I've got good news. I'm engaged.
Was it like old timey?
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
So that's what Dad's watching on TV.
Cool. Good job, Brian Cox. Good use of your time.
Yeah. There's a lady on the plane who, when they were boarding, asked Cillian Murphy for help with her bags, and wow, she's super horned up for him.
Yeah, she just wants to join that Mile High Club with him, man.
She absolutely does. So then she asked for help with her bags again, and now Cillian Murphy's pissed. He's not trying to pretend to be a nice dude anymore, and now she's just fucking with his plans, but he can't give up his cover, so he says, yeah, sure. And that's when the Dr. Phil lady walks over from the back of the plane to talk to Rachel and says, this book is just changing my life. It's so incredible. And Rachel says, and I love this, I think this is so smart, this movie is interesting because it plants so many little things where you're wondering, why are we, when the fuck is this gonna pay itself off? Like the Dr. Phil book and just pointed shots of
the kid fiddling with his pen.
Just weird things where you know that that's gonna come back at some point, but you're not sure how. So this is one of those. Rachel takes the Dr. Phil book and says, oh, let me highlight my favorite part for you. And then she's like scribbling in the book. So we see she's writing something and then gives it back.
Yeah, we never actually see what she wrote, but obviously it's, a cry for help.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is like the first of many times where it's just like, I fucking love that about this movie is they're on a plane. They're in the most confined space possible. And it's like there's a ticking time bomb element to it, and she's held hostage by Killian, and it seems like there's nothing she can do, and yet she keeps coming up with all these little ways to try to escape and get around his plan. And it's so satisfying to see her try all these things, even though inevitably they're going to fail, so we can move on to the next one, and so we have a movie. But it's just so, like, fuck yeah, Rachel McAdams.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. And it's so scary because Killian sits back down and is like, so I know she's going to look at that book. I know she's going to read that book. And then he just fucking headbutts her out of nowhere. He headbutts Rachel so
I think
hard.
he's like, well, I'm going to have to get that now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then he headbutts her and knocks her out.
Yeah.
And when she comes to, he's reading from the book.
Yes, she wakes up to him reading quotes from the Dr. Phil book, which is great.
I'm challenging you, starting now, to stop dealing in opinions and assumptions and start dealing in facts.
This is when I'm so glad it is a Dr. Phil book and not just some generic fake self-help person. The fact that he's just menacingly reading Dr. Phil quotes is one of the best things
He even
about
has a
this
throwaway
movie.
quote like, can you believe this?
Can you believe this? Yeah. Oh, man, it's
And
so fucking
there's
funny.
another great moment of suspense when she looks back at the woman who had the Dr. Phil book, and she's like conked out.
Yeah, but is
And-
she asleep or is she straight
Yeah,
up
and there's like a
dead?
long shot of Rachel looking really concerned until some turbulence like wakes the lady up. But like it's an excellent thing
It's
of
really
suspense by
good,
Wes
yeah.
Craven of did he kill that woman discreetly somehow and get that book back?
Yeah. Oh, it's so fucking great. This movie is also really funny in a very dark way.
That's a signature of Wes Craven.
Oh,
He always
yeah,
has at
the
least
dark
a little bit
humor.
of humor to it, except for maybe Last House. I don't know if that has a lot of humor to it.
Probably not.
That feels so not Wes Craven.
I know. It's one I always forget is Wes Craven because it's so bleak.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's very strange, and I wonder if making that and the sharp reaction to it kind of influenced his later movies. Because compare that to Nightmare or Scream or this, nothing alike.
I guess like Last House, there's bits of like really bleak humor with the use of music versus what's actually happening.
that
but
comes
it
off
still
as weird
is.
though.
It's a hard movie to sit through.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's very difficult. Yeah, I always forget that's a Wes Craven.
I think it's around here that we get a very awesome shot that I don't know. We were debating if they mounted it on something on the ceiling or use some kind of gliding technique, but it's a shot that like glides through the cockpit or the cabin of the plane, and it like goes over people's heads and across the aisles. And you might miss it if you're not attuned to watching shots and thinking like how they filmed them, but knowing that it's crazy how they got that. I wonder how they did
I would
it.
guess a ceiling mount. I can't think of any other.
Because it starts in one
way.
aisle, and you're like, okay, there's a camera person moving down the aisle, but then it like glides over the head of the middle section into the other aisle and comes back around again. It's great.
really cool.
And it really helps establish that setting and location and
Where they're at on the plane.
where they are, where all the other side characters are. It's just excellent. God, Wes Craven, man.
I know. It's so good. So Rachel agrees to make that phone call. She finally says, fine, I'll do it. I'll call the hotel. So she calls and the line craps out halfway through. It just
While
dies.
she's talking to Cynthia.
Yes,
back
while
at
she's on the
hotel.
phone because they're going through like storm clouds and stuff. But Killian doesn't notice because she has her phone on the side of her head that is like away from him. And there's like a little screen on the back of the phone that's like line disconnected. But then he's watching her make her call. Then he looks over and there's a guy across the aisle also on the phone who then takes it away from his ear and is like, oh, damn it. And like says the line's out. So then he fucking just grabs that phone away from her, looks at it, and then he goes, Cynthia.
Yeah, but even that moment of right when it goes out and you see Rachel realize it and then
keep
make
talking.
the decision to bluff her way through
Yeah.
and pretend like Cynthia's still on the line is so good. And it's another one of those like, this is a smart character.
To just pretend to keep like, oh,
That
yep,
she
I
fulfilled her end
totally
of the
did
bargain.
it.
Yeah.
But that fucking dude across the aisle had to be on the phone too.
Of course, everyone had to be on their plane
Everyone's
phone.
gotta be on the
In the
phone.
middle of a fucking storm
Everyone's
or
got to
some
use
shit.
the fucking, I'm assuming, really expensive plane phones.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just another awesome attempt by her to circumvent
Yeah.
the situation she's in.
This is, I will say, I think I thought about this yesterday and brought it up to you as a thing that kind of bugs me. So if they're flying through storm clouds, because the thing is, she can't make a scene or anything, because if she does, Cillian Murphy's gonna make that call and have her dad murdered. So why not during the storm where no one can get on the phone? Why not just stand up and make a big fucking thing and be like, this dude has a bomb or is holding me hostage or something, just to like get him detained and maybe have the plane make an emergency landing.
Yeah.
I don't know, because then he couldn't make the call and have her dad killed. So I don't know. I would, if anyone, I don't want that to be a thing that bothers me. If anyone has maybe some reasoning where that would, like, why that wouldn't work or why that wouldn't have been.
Well, he kind of sets it up as though if the dude outside her dad's place doesn't hear from him at certain points, he might act on his own.
Oh, like he has to call it off?
Maybe. But then again, he also says later he only listens to what his master tells him.
Yeah.
Which is like, are you getting off on this dude?
Maybe.
But, yeah, I don't know. And there's also just the element of like, not thinking that fast when it happens. Yeah. Like she tried one thing when it happened, the continuing to bluff, and then when she gets called out on that by him, maybe she's just too freaked out to think something like that.
Whatever.
Yeah, like it's not a perfect movie.
No, it's not.
But it's definitely enjoyable.
Still fun.
Mm-hmm.
We cut back to Dad watching the comedy marathon. That's where I pulled that quote from.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a newspaper thrown at the dad's door by a guy in like the bed of a truck who is wearing a hat and a red sweater. It just looks like Freddy Krueger.
Kind of looks like Freddy throwing those newspapers.
I was shocked that wasn't in the IMDb trivia, but it looks like Freddy Krueger in a truck.
Yeah, if you watch this movie in anticipation of this review, let us know if you also noticed that. Or if you're going to watch it, let us know if you think you agree with us.
Yeah.
We went back and rewatched it, and, I feel like it looks enough as though it were intentional.
A little, yeah.
It's not like...
Because you can't on the nose have that dude in a red and green sweater.
Yeah.
That would be insane.
Yeah, but he's got a little hat.
Yeah,
and...
it's the silhouette.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think that shot is there just so Dad will notice there's a weird van outside. Cillian reveals that he knows Rachel's like he's just been stalking her this whole time. And he knows everything about her. So that's why he knew her favorite drink. So it's not actually a party trick. He just straight up knows her favorite drink because apparently she's kind of a loner and like after work will just like go to the bar and like always orders the same thing. And that's how he knew she lied when she said it was a Bay Breeze. She says, all right, I have to go to the bathroom. And then he holds up a water bottle and is like, well, this is the best I can do. You know what? Just like piss everywhere. And they got to land that plane. You remember like...
Do they have to land a plane if someone pees?
I don't know if someone pees, but if someone takes a shit or there was a news story, I think last year, where some guy took where this guy had such a bad fart that they had to emergency land a plane because it smelled so bad.
Dude, what if you were that dude?
I know.
There's two ways to react to that. Total shame or completely own it.
Yeah.
I'm the guy whose fart was so powerful I landed a plane.
I had to ground a plane. Yeah.
My fart is akin to a bomb threat.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I won't give details, but one of our favorite stories of mine is when a bunch of my friends were crammed in a hotel room and one kid...
Not James. I'll say not.
Me, yeah.
Like,
I was
actually
not involved
not
in either
James.
of these positions, but one kid took a shit that smelled so bad that another kid on the other side of the small hotel room threw up in a bucket, threw up in a wastebasket because of how bad it smelled. If you're listening, you know who you are.
Yeah, I know who you are too. James has told me your names. I know who was involved in that story.
Oh my God.
Good God. So he relents and lets her go to the bathroom, and she walks past the little girl who's flying by herself, and the little girl notices something is weird because she looks at Rachel and looks back at Cillian, and Cillian is just watching her.
Looking like Cillian Murphy, so yeah.
And while she's in the bathroom, Rachel writes 18F has bomb on the mirror with soap. which is so smart.
Another thing.
Yeah.
Another awesome attempt to do something.
But there's a quick headshot of the kid with headphones while this is all happening.
Quick headshot?
Did I say that?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a
Headshot.
No, there's a quick shot of the kid with headphones. That's what I meant. Wondering where his pen went because he was drawing and stuff.
There's a little like vampire.
It's like a little Frankenstein
pen.
thing.
Yeah.
And so,
dude, what'd you do with my pen? That's what he says to the guy next to him because they're like,
I thought you were
final
doing
destination.
a dude, where's my car?
Dude, where's my pen? It's behind the mail truck. It's been there the whole time.
What does mine say?
Sweet. What does mine say?
Dude.
Sweet.
We tried.
What does mine say? Dude.
We tried watching that movie.
We didn't make it 20 minutes.
Nope, we turned it off. And we have a very high tolerance for bad comedies even.
Yeah, but you want to do Master of Disguise, and after we watched the trailer last night, hon, I don't know if I can make it.
I don't know. That might be one where we don't make it.
Because then we watched like a top 10 most painful moments of Master of Disguise.
Yeah.
And in between each one was like a screenshot of the dictionary.com definition of joke, and it's like, wop, wop, wop.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, just show me the fucking
Show
Dana
me-
Carvey clips.
That's what we get, though, for YouTubing clips of Master of Disguise.
I'm going to be a master of disguise. I'm going to be.
Oh, we also get a quick shot of Keith with his family on their private plane. And so it's a very pointed shot showing us that he has a whole cute family. He's a family man with a wife and 2 kids.
The kids are just snuggling up for a nap.
Yeah, it's all very wholesome. So we go back to Rachel in the bathroom, and she's just been in there too damn long. That's the thing. So he knows something's up. So he walks in there and sees that she wrote that on the mirror, and then he kind of just beats the shit out of her in this bathroom, and it's very uncomfortable. And that's when we see it earlier, but we see it again. She has like a scar on her collarbone.
Yeah,
kind of. And
that was like a weird thing.
It was, weird backstory. We find out backstory
I don't think
later.
It was necessary. But
I don't know if it was either.
Because of what it's revealed, like she says, she was assaulted at knife point at
Yeah.
one point earlier on, and she was like, "I'll never let this
happen again." All right, sure.
But yeah, the little girl tells an attendant that she saw like a man go in the bathroom.
This is so tragic.
Yeah.
The little girl's so right. She's like, "Hey, I saw a man go in that bathroom." But then I saw a lady in there too. And then, of course, the flight attendant's like, "Oh, it's one of those flights."
Yeah.
And then when they leave the bathroom and go back to their seats, the one flight attendant yells at Cillian Murphy and is like, "This is not a motel."
Sure.
Rachel makes the call because
she finally does
She gives in and makes the call. And after she makes the call, that's when Cillian says, "Oh, actually, Keith's whole family is going to die. It's not just Keith. His whole family is in danger because, spoilers, we're gonna bazooka this fucking hotel room."
Dude, they're gonna bazooka this fucking hotel room.
Really good, subtle plan.
And they're gonna fire it from this boat that, like, so the Secret Service.
Yeah, that is next. Might as well talk about this awesome plan.
Keith gets to the hotel, and what's the assistant's name?
Cynthia.
Yeah, Cynthia. And so Cynthia tells him that like he has to move to another room, that Rachel approved it. And so this security team goes in to clear it out and everything, and they look out the balcony and they see a fishing boat off the shore. And actually, didn't they get there like super early in the morning? Shouldn't it still be dark? I don't know. They see a fishing boat off the shore, and so they have the Coast Guard or whatever go check it out. And they go and check it out and board it, and they search the boat, and they don't find anything, and they're like, "Oh, sorry to bother you." But then it's revealed that like the dudes on the fishing boat, they pull up this giant weapons case from
which
in
I
the
liked
water.
this a lot.
That was a great element because like I had seen this once before, and I remembered like, oh yeah, those people on the boat are involved.
Yeah.
But how do they get their boat searched and not have anything found? Oh, it's underwater, and they pull it up with their fishing rods.
Yeah.
I thought that was excellent.
I liked that too. So, and yep, they open up the box that they pull out from the water. It's just they're assembling a
giant
bazooka.
fucking bazooka.
It's just a missile launcher.
I'm sure there's a more technical term. I don't care. It's a
bazooka.
giant fucking
For all
bazooka,
purposes,
dude.
it's a bazooka.
Yeah. And I guess what? They presumably needed him in this other room for a more clear target or whatever.
Yeah, I'm guessing the other one was probably on the other side of the hotel.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so they needed this room because it's easier to
blow the fuck up.
Yup. The plane lands. Cillian Murphy's that guy who claps when the plane lands, which
Hey,
I thought
other people
was
joined
funny.
him.
I know, but it's so funny that he's that guy. Although, you know what? After long, again, I don't remember where they're flying from, but after really long flights, people clap. This is when, Rachel reveals her backstory about this past trauma she has, and then we see she's got the pen. She took the pen from that kid with the little Frankenstein on the end, and she just stabs Cillian Murphy right in the fucking throat.
In a perfect spot to make him lose his voice so he can't call his buddy and have him kill his dad. Or her dad.
Didn't even think of it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought, oh, cool, she stabbed him. I didn't even think, he wouldn't be able to make the call.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah.
And she just bolts.
She runs. This little girl trips Cillian. This whole chase through the airport. I get from a bystander's perspective. Yeah, this lady just stabbed a guy in the throat with a pen. But also, he's chasing her and is scary looking. I just think more people in this airport at least would be like, ma'am, do you need help? Like, is that guy harassing you? Because no one really stops either of them. Security's running after them, but besides that,
I love how she changes outfits real fast.
Mm-hmm.
Takes off the jacket she's wearing.
So she doesn't match the description.
Exactly.
Yeah. Rachel calls Cynthia and tells Cynthia to pull the fire alarm at the hotel. And so she does. I just say in all caps here, bad guys have a bazooka. They launch that shit. Luckily, Cynthia gets the family and everyone else to move out of that room after pulling the fire alarm. But dude, they launch this bazooka in that hotel. That side of the hotel just gets fucked up.
Yeah, man.
So while this is happening, Rachel is driving to her dad's house, and there's a guy on the front lawn of her dad's, and she mows this dude right over.
Well, yeah, because she gets there and she sees because Cillian had mentioned that his associate was sitting outside in a silver BMW.
Yeah.
And so when she pulls up, she sees that car there and comes up to it and sees that it's empty.
Yeah.
So then she looks over and sees this dude in a suit on her dad's porch, and so she just revs up her car, and I was like, what if it was a salesman or a Jehovah's Witness? And but no, he does pull out a gun and starts shooting at her while she's driving at him.
Yep.
And he misses, but she plows into the house.
Into her house.
Yeah.
That guy's dead.
That guy's super dead.
Yep. And so she's looking around for her dad, but then she turns around and Cillian Murphy is there, and he's like, hi.
Yeah, he has a very weird delivery of hi.
Because he can't fucking talk, which is as much as the visual of him getting stabbed in the throat is so fun, and like you mentioned, that's a good plot device. I miss having him be able to talk during this kind of cat and mouse thing where he's chasing her around.
Oh, no, I think it's fine that he's all raspy. And
Yeah. She throws a fucking fire extinguisher at him. One of her high heels goes into his leg, and he knocks out her dad. He then leaves that room and comes back, but the dad is gone.
Yeah, because she pulled him out of the way.
Yeah, so
it's I remember the one previous time I had seen this movie, I remember when I finished it, I was like, it was good until they got off the plane and the house
felt that way
part
too.
Sucked. Watching it this time, I didn't feel as strongly that way.
Yeah, same.
The house stuff goes on maybe a couple minutes too long, but it's a good chase sequence in a house. It's very well constructed for a chase confined to a single house. And
a really big house.
I said, yeah, it's lucky that they have this big ass house. I don't know what Brian Cox did for a living, but they definitely have a large house, the kind where you have a bathroom with 2 doors to different rooms.
That's fancy.
That's fancy.
Bathrooms off of a bedroom to me are so foreign and really fancy.
Yeah, if you have a bathroom that has a bedroom entrance and a hall, whoa.
Yeah, holy shit.
But yeah, so it's a good, well-constructed chase scene because she's climbing out the upstairs window and down the side of the house and getting back in through the kitchen. That's when she hides her dad. And it's done really well.
She goes into her room, and so again we get the payoff of, you know, seemingly random shot from earlier where we see all of her childhood shit is still there. She grabs a field hockey stick and just beats the fuck out of him with this field hockey stick. And it's great because she's playing field hockey with this knife. She like knocks the knife out of his hand and is using her field hockey maneuvering skills to just like bat that thing down the hallway so he can't get it. It's like good payoff for
it's
that
this
stuff.
whole movie is good
Yeah.
payoff for little stuff.
Killian throws her down the stairs.
Yeah.
He like not even push. He fucking just like throws her because she falls over the railing, so she just plummets down those stairs. It looks so painful. She grabs the dart that the guy on the front lawn had. It wasn't a gun, it was a dart.
Are you sure?
Uh-huh.
You're positive?
I'm positive.
It wasn't just a gun with like a silencer?
Pretty sure. I think they're like darts.
I don't know. I thought it was just a gun.
Really?
Yeah, but I see that you wrote dart twice, so.
Yeah. But also, I don't know, just, you know, the idea of like she darts him is so funny. And then the dad shows up and also darts Killian. Like it's just, there's fucking darts flying everywhere. Maybe I just imagined it.
I'm going to go on record saying I think it was just a gun with a silencer.
Really?
But I might be wrong.
All
Neither
right.
of us know guns, so.
But that's the thing is like darts look like darts.
I don't remember a dart.
Really?
Yeah. I thought he just got shot.
Keep talking.
Sure.
No, I need to know now. This isn't a thing I'm going to put in post. I need to know now. I'm going to go on the Wikipedia and double check.
Dude, a dart seems like a weird decision because it's the gun of his associate.
Right.
His associate wasn't coming over to dart the dad.
He was coming over to
fucking-
rebar him.
What's rebar him mean? What is
Rebar is like that.
that? The piping stuff?
Yeah,
That's,
that goes inside like concrete and stuff.
Yeah. The stuff
Like
that in
sharpened
Belko
rebar.
experiment, I call the pipe sticking out of the wall. And
Yikes.
people yelled at me because it's rebar.
boy.
Sorry, I'm not in the construction industry. I don't know about tensile strength.
It does say gun on
I think
Wikipedia.
it's just a gun, dude.
But what if we watched a weird version of this where it's like E.T. with the instead of guns, it's walkie-talkies?
Wes
But Wes
Craven's special
Craven, for
edition.
some reason, this movie, he just had an awakening where he realized, no, it's too violent. Put
Dude.
darts in it.
That's probably why my version of Scream has them running around with pool noodles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be it. Does that kill him? Right?
Yeah, but that's why I think it's a dart gun, because he like kind of dies really slow.
Well, yeah. He's a horror movie villain.
My next note is just yay, Cynthia. I don't know why, but I guess she did kind of save the day a little
She did.
bit.
She saved the Department
Saved
of
the
Homeland
family
Security.
by pulling the fire alarm and getting everyone out of there. And
Yeah, she
good
saved
job,
freedom.
Cynthia.
Cynthia.
And there's these two hotel guests that are assholes. One of whom is Chris Pine's dad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I forgot he's an actor too. He was on like Chips and stuff.
Oh, he looked familiar. I thought maybe he was the dad from Even Stevens, but I guess not.
No, and then they yell at Rachel because Cynthia, like,
She's a really good dancer.
She's a really good dancer. She fucked up selling with the reservations, and then Rachel McAdams says, "You know what? You can fill out a comment card and shove it up your ass," which is great. And then they walk off happily ever after.
I really enjoyed this movie. It's a nice, tight, compact little movie. Great performances. As you know, at this point, as I would expect from a Wes Craven movie, it's got a lot like strong lady characters. Like it's kind of like a recurring thing in this movie because not only is Rachel McAdams, like we said this whole time, just a really resourceful, intelligent, persistent character, but like even her, like the little girl who is knowledgeable and like sees, and Cynthia is portrayed as like a very anxious and almost hapless employee at first, but then she saves the day in that subplot by like rising to the occasion and saving Keith and getting them out and like standing up for herself. And like even down to the flight attendants who try to, you know, intervene and help. I don't know.
Yeah.
Follow Dead Meat on social media at Dead Meat James on Twitter and Instagram. Also the Discord, the subreddit, and soon the Twitch.
Nice.
Yeah.
You can follow Carebeck, CareBecc on Twitter and Instagram. And if you want merch, deadmeatstore.com.
Email any comments or feedback or whatever you want about this podcast, deadmeatpod@gmail.com. That's all Chelsea.
Or tweet at me.
Or do that.
I check Twitter more often.
Yeah, this podcast is 100% the work of Chelsea's efforts. I just sit here and talk into a mic for an hour, and you do the hours and hours of research and editing. Yep. So thanks for that. Until next week, I'm James.
I'm Chelsea.
And this has been the Dead Meat Podcast.